Thank you for joining me live from the Grooming Table. I am certified professional pet groomer Amy Lee, and it is absolutely my pleasure to share with you and you and you and you and you the secrets of the pet grooming industry so you can provide quality care for your beloved pets at home. And that's what we do right here every Monday at 5:30 Eastern Standard Time. And here we are again. It's Monday again. I love Mondays. This is why I love Mondays. Thank you all for joining me. Now, I just want to remind you that one of my goals right here on my YouTube channel is to bring a new voice to the pet grooming industry, and that's one that includes you, pet owners, as valuable consumers in the industry, not just professional pet groomers. So we've been doing a wonderful job of that right here on Go Groomer Together on our YouTube channel, and we're not stopping. We are adding quality and value to dogs and pet owners all across the world. And when I say that, look in the chat, guys. Oh my goodness, we've got people from all over the world in our chat right now, getting together and talking secrets of the pet grooming industry. So tonight, guys, our topic is how to clean and remove hair from your dog's ears safely. That's right, we're going to do it safely. It can be done, and it needs to be done. Some of the other things we're going to be talking about tonight, guys, that you're going to learn. Why you should remove the hair from inside your dog's ears. You're going to learn what is ear powder and should you use it? What does the hemostat do? We're going to talk about that. Do you need to use it? Are there other tools that you can use to help you get the job done safely? We're going to talk about that too. We're going to talk about, do all dog breeds require ear hair removal? And what happens if you do not remove the hair inside your dog's ear? What can you do if you're not confident and skilled enough to remove the hair from inside your dog's ears? What ear cleansers are best and why? Those are just some of the things that we're going to cover right here tonight, my friends, and I cannot wait. I just want to remind everybody, I'm going to copy and paste this in the chat right now. If you have a question, please put a line in front of it. Just hold that dash down, make a line. That way I'm sure to see it because I want to make sure that I get to your questions and then I answer them, okay? It's very important to me to end our live stream with solving your problems, answering your questions. That's what we do. So after we have our short demo, we're going to have a little short demo because I'm going to show you guys. I'm not just going to tell you. I'm going to show you how to remove the hair from your dog's ears safely and how to clean them properly and safely. So after that short demo, we're going to get chatty right here in the chat. So get your questions ready. Be prepared so we can get chatty. All right, guys, let's get to it. Let's roll this demo. I'm just going to talk over it and explain what's going on. And you guys are going to learn so much tonight. I'm so excited. This is a topic that is often asked to me, so I'm glad to cover it. So here we go, guys. How to clean and pluck your dog's ears safely. This is a picture of the inside of your dog's ear. You can see where the ear is, where the ear canal is. This is important for you guys to know. If you need to take a look at an illustration like this, hop out on the web. They're everywhere. So we have here a beautiful little poodle. She's a mini poodle named Miss Buffy. She has a lot of hair inside of her ears. You guys can see that. So I add a little bit of ear powder in there. Everything that I'll be talking about tonight, guys, is linked below, okay? So no worries. If you need to purchase it, I've put the links there for you. So we only need enough powder in the ear just to try to dry some of the dampness and debris off of the ear from inside of the ear. The only hair that we're moving is what is inside of the ear canal, guys. So we want to separate that. We want to separate it. We're going to be using a hemostat. You're going to see that. So that's linked in the description too. You don't have to use hemostats. The idea to remove the hair from inside of your dog's ear is to kind of get a hold of maybe 10 strands of hair at a time and corkscrew it out of there. Get it, grab it, and give it a corkscrew twist. And it just slides right out. Let me tell you, it is not painful. And it is important to do this. I'm going to tell you that in a minute. I'm going to explain that. But just watch my technique, guys, and you can see she has so much ear hair inside of that ear. So we're just getting a hold of about 10 hairs at a time, and it slides right out. But you can see how deep that is in there. That hair is way down in there, and I'm going to explain to you why this is important. Some people are afraid to do it. Some vets don't recommend it. But I'm giving you my opinion, guys. My 18 years of experience with pet grooming. I'm going to tell you what I think about this. Oftentimes when we're plucking ears, we're going to get globs of debris because that ear hair is kind of harboring debris to it, which is important that the ear hair is doing that, because now we can remove the gunky debris right out with the ear hair. And again, there's such a thing as the earlobe here, guys. We want to stay away from the earlobe. If we pull the hair on the earlobe, it will hurt. See here, this is her earlobe. We do not want to pull that hair. We want what's behind it, what's only inside of the ear. It's very important. Give it a little twist and pull, nice and consistent. And, be very careful if you're going in there with hemostats that you're only getting a hold of hair, okay? The skin in there is very tender. I mean, you can imagine. So if you're doing this right and safely, you're not going to hurt your dog, but you're also, she's like, whoa, you're also going to be alleviating a lot of future problems that could be occurring in your dog's ears, and it can be hard to get a hold of and get on top of, guys. So I do want to stress the importance of this procedure. A lot of people fear it. So we've done a good job. Take a look in here. You can use your fingers too, guys, depending on if you have small or large fingers. If you have large fingers, you may not have very good luck. So you're going to need to use a hemostat, which they come in all different sizes. And note, hemostats are not sharp at all. That's what we removed from one ear from Miss Buffy. She is a miniature poodle, and this was down in her ear. It was packed in there, and she comes to me every 8 weeks. So that's only 8 weeks of hair that grew inside of her ear because I pluck them every time she comes in. So look at that. That was down in there, guys. I think it's very important that you guys understand this. And when we remove that hair, we removed gunk that is sitting against the tender skin inside of your dog's ear, which can cause problems. So now we got to clean it. We've plucked it. It's time to clean it. I love the Bark to Basics ear cleaner. It has witch hazel in it, no alcohol. Alcohol can burn, but most products that contain alcohol, most ear cleaners, it's just a tiny bit just to dry up the product so you don't leave too much moisture in the ear. But I like to soak that cotton ball, and I like to squeeze it in her ear and let it get way down in there, and then she shakes it out, and that's exactly what we want. We get a clean cotton ball and we wipe away anything that has come up to the surface. It's just that easy, guys. I mean, take a look. Her ear looks wonderful. It does. And now she can get good airflow in there. It just helps to keep the health of your dog's ears definitely on the up and up, guys. This is her other ear that I plucked. This is after she was bathed. I always clean the ears after they're bathed, just in case a tiny bit of water may have gotten in there from the bathing process. So it's that simple. It honestly is. And look at her. She says, I feel so amazing, guys. I feel so good. She does. It's really important. And the scary thing is sometimes people don't have their dogs groomed often enough. So when the dog gets to the groomer, it may be like 3 months of ear hair. That's a lot of ear hair, especially when you're talking about a poodle or a schnauzer or a Bichon, Maltese. They typically get a lot of hair inside of the ears. There are breeds that don't. And I want to tell you guys, one good rule of thumb to say, hey, how do I know if my dog breed is going to grow hair inside of their ear canal? It typically is our soft-coated breeds, like our soft-coated Wheaten Terriers, our Kerry Blue Terriers, they're soft-coated. Our Schnauzers, they're soft-coated. the silver schnauzers. And I have noticed that most of our wire-coated schnauzers don't seem to get a lot of hair inside of their ears. Poodles do. All 3 sizes of poodles do. Geez, you won't see it as often in a sporting breed like our spaniels and in our golden retrievers and our labradors. That's not really something you're going to have to worry about. It's not common. They have a different coat type. So it's those soft coated breeds that usually require scissor work, if you can think of it like that, like a Bichon, a poodle, schnauzer legs. They are very fluffy dogs with a soft cottony coat. Those are typically your dogs that are going to get a lot of ear hair growing inside of the ear canal. And it is important to remove it. And I want to tell you why. Because if we leave all that down in there, guys, you saw when I removed some of that was way down in there, and it comes out easily. When I removed some of that, you saw gunk and buildup, debris caked on that hair. Well, if we continue to let that ear canal get packed with hair, it's going to also pack all that debris and harbor all that against the tender skin inside of our dog's ears. That is what could end up causing a problem, because it will get irritated. When it gets irritated, your dog starts scratching, they start rubbing, and it gets worse. And it can get so worse that it could become an ear infection or just very painful. Even if it doesn't become an ear infection, it can be painful. So it is very important to remove that hair from inside of your dog's ear canal. Just what's inside of the ear canal only. You be very careful to separate that off of their earlobe. If you're pulling the hair off their earlobe, that would be like pulling your hair out. That's what it would feel like. But the hair inside the ear comes out nice and easy and gently because it's sitting in earwax. It's different skin inside of the dog's ear canal, and it just releases so easily with a nice, firm, steady twist and pull. You don't need to rip and yank. That's not necessary, guys. I'm telling you, it's not necessary. A nice, easy, twist and pull. Okay? It'll come right out. It will. Let me see. I want to make sure that I'm covering all these issues that I wanted to talk to you guys about. Okay, so why should you remove the hair from inside of your dog's ear? I just covered that, and that was because they harbor debris in there, and the hair collects the debris against the hair, which is good. But if we don't remove that hair and it just continues to grow and grow, we're going to have a lot of debris and a lot of ear hair packed in that ear, and that's going to harbor bad things against the skin. It can cause a problem. Okay, what is ear powder, and should you use it? Yes, you should use ear powder. Ear powder is nothing more than just a powder that pulls moisture out of the hair. So picture it like chalk, when you rub your hand on a chalkboard, you feel that it dries your skin so badly, doesn't it, guys? You know what I'm saying? Or if you're outside and you're coloring with your kids with sidewalk chalk, and you get done and you're like, gosh, my hands are so dry and they hurt. Chalk, that's what powder is, and it pulls moisture out. So in other words, it pulls the moisture out of the hair strands so you can simply just get a grip on it. That's the whole idea. Because you got to remember that the strands of hair inside your dog's ear, they also have a little bit of earwax, which is slippery and waxy, a little bit of debris and buildup. So that makes the hair slippery and it's hard to get a hold of it. So that's all the ear powder does, is it pulls the moisture out of the hair strands so that you can easily get a grip on it and remove it, okay? So it really doesn't serve any other purpose than that, okay? I do want to say that. There's a lot of confusion on that. All right, so the next thing I want to talk to you guys about is what does a hemostat do, and do you need to use them? And they come in all shapes and sizes, guys. And another thing about hemostats that's nice, a lot of people like to utilize, I find it a little bit annoying, is hemostats can lock into place. I'm going to try to show you. Okay, see, they have these little ridges right here. So once you get a hold of the ear hair that you would like to remove, little bits at a time, you can lock that hemostat so it clamps down on the hair, and then you can twist and pull it out of there. There is nothing sharp and pointy. See, I'm pressing my finger. Now it is pointy. If you would go in there and jam it in your dog's ear, that skin, yeah, you could hurt them. If you went in and you were trying to pull hair and you pinched the skin, yeah, that could hurt them. So you've really got to hold that ear canal open so you can clearly see what you're doing, and just get a hold of little bits at a time and grab it and corkscrew it right out of there. It'll come right out. So there are many different types of hemostats. This one's larger. Most all of them have the locking mechanism right here, guys. So that's just there to help you, once you get a hold of it, to not slip off the hair. And you also, obviously, you can use hemostats to remove ticks. So that's another reason why they have that locking feature. When I remove a tick, let's say you have a tick right here on your dog, I use it with the tip facing up, and I get way down all the way close to the head of that tick, and a quick yank and pull. And that's how I remove ticks off of dogs, is with hemostats as well. So does everybody need to use a hemostat? No. If you have very small fingers, you probably would do just fine with using your fingers if you put the ear powder on the hair that you're trying to remove. And you don't need to put an abundance of ear powder, just enough to coat the strand, okay? And then you can use your fingers, absolutely. These are also another thing you can pick up at an office supply store. They're actually made for people to leaf through paperwork. So somebody who works with a lot of paperwork all day, they use these because then they don't have to keep licking their finger and, anyway. So these are good little grippers because they're rubber and they have little texture on them. So if you put the ear powder on your dog's ears, you can easily get a hold of that and pull it out. So, but if you have very large fingers, if you're a man or a woman that has large hands, you're probably going to have to go for the hemostat. That way you're sure you're not pulling too much at once, and you can accurately get in there and get what you need. Never go in your dog's ears with a tweezer. Tweezers have a completely different end on it. It can be very blunt, it can be sharp, and it could irritate the skin inside there. So don't use a tweezer. It's the hemostat. This is the tool for plucking the ear hair in your dogs. And I've linked one down below. They're very affordable. They're maybe only $6 or something. You could probably get these in a beauty supply store too, I would think. Maybe even Walmart or something like that. So you do have options, guys. They're out there available for you, and they're there for a reason, because it definitely gets you there safer and quicker with what you want to do. And that covers the next thing I wanted to bring up was, are there other tools that you can use to help you get the job done safely? So definitely the ear powder is a tool to get the job done safely. These little grippers that you can get in office supply stores like Staples or Office Max or any office supply store, and your hemostat. These are very, very important tools that we use to remove that hair from your dog's, inside of your dog's ear. Do all dog breeds require hair removal? No, we discussed that. Basically, your fluffy coated dogs, we talked about it, Wheaten Terriers, Kerry Blue Terriers, Poodles, Bichon, those types of dogs that have a fluffy scissor coat. Those are your dogs that are typically going to have ear hair. And if your dog only has the tiniest little bit, like let's say you have a Yorkie and he really doesn't have much, you don't have to pluck everything out of the ear. But you saw in Buffy's case, she had so much, guys, and if we don't stay on top of that when we have her in for her groom, it would be twice that much within 16 weeks. And in 24 weeks, it would be 3 times that much hair in there. Now we're going to see a problem. So it's just a matter of staying on top of it. But if you have a dog that just has a little bit in there, you don't have to pluck it. okay? It's okay to have a little bit of ear hair because it does allow the debris and stuff to stick to it. So it does have a job to do, which is to keep it from going down in your dog's ear. It lets debris and buildup adhere to the hair. So that is kind of the purpose of it. What happens if you do not remove the hair from inside of your dog's ear? Well, we talked about that. Your dog could be very itchy, start rubbing, scratching, get their ear inflamed and pain, and of course it could turn into an ear infection if there's a lot of debris being harbored down in your dog's ear canal. What can you do if you're not confident and skilled enough to remove the hair from inside your dog's ears? Now listen to me, friends. Are you listening? This is important. Don't stress over it. If you groom your dog yourself, and that is one of the areas that you struggle with. A lot of people struggle with nail trimming too. You know, we talk about that all the time. That's okay. That's what groomers are for. That's what professionals are for. Your vet, or find a groomer that you like, and you can simply schedule appointments just for hair removal and ear clean and a nail trim, or one or the other. They will do it for you. You just schedule it. They're going to charge you, and you don't have to worry about it, okay? So if it's something you're not comfortable with, no sad faces, okay? Don't stress over it. There's pet professionals, and that's their job. So seek one out that you trust and build that relationship with a groomer and say, you know, I do my grooming for my dog, but these are areas that I'm just not skilled in, and I know you are. So could you please take this off my plate for me? And the groomer say, sure, let's make an appointment. Bring her in, you know. So don't sweat it, guys, if you're not comfortable doing the ear removal or cleaning your dog's ear. But what I want to tell you is it is important to do it. So if you can't, that's okay. Then you find a groomer. You find somebody to team up with, okay? And what ear cleansers are best and why? I prefer, for instance, the Bark to Basics. And I buy it by the gallon, and you guys can buy it by the gallon too. It's much cheaper to buy it by the gallon, and it won't go bad because you don't add any water to it. You don't dilute it. It's ready to use. So it has a shelf life. And I put mine in mixing bottles that I would use. You would use these to mix your shampoo. You know, we've seen these. We talk about these all the time, guys. And that's what I use to keep handy at my ear cleaning station, which is right beside my tub. And then I just refill my bottle when it's getting low with my Bark to Basics ear cleaning solution. The reason I like that one is because it has witch hazel in it. When witch hazel can be quite soothing and has some healing properties to it too, because let's face it, oftentimes there's some irritation in a dog's ear because of a lot of buildup, possibly an allergy or just excessive buildup. And so if they're a little irritated, certain products could just itch them a little bit more. And I just feel that the witch hazel is what I would, want to use. That's what I use on my dogs too. And that's what I choose. That's why I choose the Bark to Basics. Now, if your dog does have some severe looking ear problems going on, if it really smells, please, you must go see your vet. And that's usually a good indication as a very bad odor. It smells like they rolled in something dead, or it smells like, somebody's really bad athlete's feed or something really, really gross. That means something's brewing in there. And your typical just ear cleaning solution is not going to correct it, because you need something to counteract either that bacteria infection or yeast infection. So in that case, you do need to make an appointment with your vet and have them prescribe you something to fix those ears. There's also a product called, give me a second, it's out of my reach. I was supposed to have it here. All right, this one right here. My little Gus was having a problem. You guys have heard of Zymox. I know you have. And you can buy this on Amazon as well. You can buy it on all our favorite websites. Your Groomer's Choice has it, Pet Edge. And what this is it's just a little bit this has an active ingredient in it that can counteract some of our ear problems that we would see in dogs. And I gave this a shot. Little Gus, he didn't have an infection, but he was producing a lot of debris in just the one ear, and it felt squishy. Like when I would clean it, I could hear, it almost sounded like there was a lot of wetness down in there, which was probably really close to being an ear infection. So I ordered this because I know it works, and you want to use it as recommended. This is something you want to clean, wipe all the debris, not with cleanser, just with a clean, dry cotton ball. You want to wipe all the debris out of your dog's ear, and then you want to get this way down in and give it a good hard squeeze and just flood that ear. Because as you saw in the illustration that I showed you during the demo, your dog's ear canal goes way down and turns. So if something down here is the problem, I'm exaggerating a little bit. Okay, if something down here is the problem, you need this solution to get to it, or it can't fix it. So that's another thing, that when people are treating problems with their dog's ears, sometimes they're afraid to really give it a good squirt and get the stuff down in there so it can come in contact with the problem area so it can fix it. But this did fix it for Gus. His ears look great. About 2 times, and I only did this once a week. And I didn't do it in conjunction with ear cleaner. I did either or. If I was just going to clean his ear, I would just use the ear cleaner that day. So that was more of a treatment, and it really does work. But if your dog's, like I said, if they've got something really smelly going on, it's probably the best thing to do is to get that appointment with your vet and get it taken care of right away, because it's going to need something special. Definitely. So I think I hit on all the nails that I intended to hit tonight. So now I'm going to jump in here. I'm so glad to see, oh my God, there's so many of you in here tonight. 123 of my friends are here from all over the world. That is crazy. I see we got people from Sweden, Egypt. Nora's from Egypt. We've got new friends here tonight. And of course we've got all of our friends here tonight. You all try to be here. We learn so much together. I know. I just love it. Now I want to answer some questions. This is a topic that a lot of people are controversial over. For one, a lot of people think you don't need to pluck the ears of your dogs. And I disagree with that. I say if it is a breed that grows a considerable amount of hair inside of the ear canal, it needs to come out. That's my opinion. Okay. So, wow, we do have some questions. That's super. I'm going to scroll about here and hopefully help you guys out. Okay, so I think I can see where we're at. The beginning of our questions. It jumps around a lot on me, guys. I'll do my best. Okay, so Miss Hamey says, are there breeds that don't need hair removal as frequently as others? Yes, there are breeds that still will grow ear hair, but it won't be as often as, say, a poodle. If you have a Yorkie or a Maltese, you'll probably notice that they grow ear hair in there, but it's nothing like what I showed you tonight with Miss Buffy. Okay, so that's a good point. Yes, not all breeds grow as much ear hair in there, okay? But it still is something that's going to have to periodically be removed, okay? Even if it's not crazy. Our friend Nora from Egypt says, my Lexi, whenever I clean her ears, one is always clean or have little wax or dirt, but the other is terrible and gets greasy so fast, and it's a lot in there. What could we do? That's a good point. I've noticed that too, Nora, on many dogs that I groom in the salon. I'll be like, why is it this one ear? Everything else, that one looks fine, but it's the one ear. There's a couple things that can be tied in with ears. One thing definitely is allergies. If it is an allergy issue, oftentimes you will see both the ears looking kind of yucky. Another thing that I know can cause only one ear to really produce a lot of debris when the other one looks good is, we got to remember, guys, dogs can be genetically flawed. So, in other words, maybe one ear canal is shaped differently than the other one inside. Maybe it's very narrow and the other one is more normal. So if it's a narrowing ear canal, of course we can't see that. The vet might be able to look in there with some tools and tell you. But that means they're not going to get the same airflow into that ear as they would into this one, or just the fact that the ear canal is shaped different. Maybe it goes down and it levels up instead of it goes down and it levels out. If it levels up, it can allow things to sit in there, and if it sits there, it could become a problem. So I'd say a lot of it, Nor, has to do with their design. They may be genetically imperfect in one ear canal, and that's just the way it is. Another thing, another reason, I just popped in my head and then it popped out. There was 3 things I wanted to tell you, Nor. Teeth. Yeah, it came back to me. You notice sometimes when our dogs start to get tooth decay, gum disease, tooth decay, you'll notice a lot of discharge and buildup coming from the eyes. You'll also notice the same thing from the ears, because this is all kind of tied together similar to us. And that can be another reason why you may see one ear looking pretty yucky. Maybe there's some tooth over there on that side of your dog that's misbehaving. It could be that. So you guys probably notice when you get your dog's teeth professionally cleaned from your vet, for a while you'll notice the tearing slows down, the eye buildup, the buildup discharge from the ears slows down, because this was all taken care of and is in a healthier state. So that can have a lot to do with it too. It's an interesting question. But I'm glad, because I'm sure that just helped a lot of people, Nor. Thank you for asking that. And Lise says, at first, sorry for my bad English. It's okay, honey. We'll do our best, okay? She says, but please don't want to know everything about how would you trim and clean Irish Wolfhound's ears. I guess. The Irish Wolfhound has a very natural coat. It's a very cool breed, by the way. If you have one, lucky you. But I don't think you're going to have a whole lot of ear hair buildup in an Irish Wolfhound, honey. If you do, then just remove it as I demonstrated today. It's not going to be packed like a poodle. But that's a very natural looking breed. The coat is very easy to maintain too. So good slicker brush, some brush out spray, and a thinning shear for a little tidying up, trimming here and there. And your Irish Wolfhound's going to look like $1,000,000. That's a beautiful breed. Owen Phillips says, what is your opinion on milking the anal glands? Oh, I'm glad you asked this. I love to talk about this. I hear from some places that you should and other places say you don't. So I was wondering what to do. Well, I'll tell you, Owen, first of all, you are a pet groomer, and it is your decision if you mess with anal glands. And here's my opinion. I'm a pet groomer also. Anal glands have a purpose. And you guys, I'm not going to get too deep into this because I have a video on my channel that goes into great detail about anal glands and what we should and shouldn't do with them, and who should and who shouldn't do anything with the anal glands. Dogs should express their anal glands naturally. And if they're not, there could be a number of reasons why they're not. And that is something for the pet owner and their vet to eliminate together. It's not a grooming issue. Expressing anal glands is not a grooming issue. And I'll tell you, if you go and you're squeezing dogs' anal glands that have no reason to be expressed, you could actually rupture them and cause problems. And some of those problems could follow the dog through the rest of their life. And you don't want any part of that. You don't. So if you're a pet groomer, I say don't do it. Ever. Don't do it. If there's a problem, the vet needs to be involved with that, because like I said, you can rupture dogs' anal sacs, and that's not good. it could become infected. It could become very bad. So that's my opinion, Owen. So stick to it. Stick to your guns, honey. Say, I'm sorry, that's not a job for a groomer. If your dog's anal glands need express, then you really should be talking with your vet. That's what I would tell my clients. And Shelby says, is the ear powder enough, or should you always follow up with the liquid ear solution? I have a schnoodle. Well, I guarantee you the schnoodle is growing ear hair, because I know I do a lot of schnoodles too, or have in the past, and they do get a lot of ear hair growing in there. The ear powder, what I do first is, before I even get the dog in the tub, I pluck the ears. That's what I do first. So I will use my ear powder, and I pluck the hair out of the ears. And I don't clean it yet. Then I bathe my dog. And you know, we got to try to avoid getting water in your dog's ears when you're bathing them, because if there is a little bit of something going on in their ear, we know water has bacteria in it. And if a little bit of water gets in there, it could, not saying that it will, it could get things going with some type of bacteria infection in your dog's ear. Okay, so that's why I always, always, always clean the dog's ears with ear cleansing solution after the bath. And that's why I get the cotton ball soaked with ear cleansing solution and squeeze it down in the ear and rub it down in there so it gets down in there, and then I let the dog shake. That's good, because then they're going to shake all that stuff out of their ear, and then you could take a clean cotton ball and wipe it up. So that's the procedure, and I think it's a really good one. That's the one I've been sticking to for a long time, and I think it proves to be well for me. I don't have any problems with my pet clients. Sometimes I'll get a pet client that does have a bad ear, but it's not because I bathed them. They came in like that, and cleaning it is still important. So, but if I see something that looks out of the ordinary or swelling, then I definitely will tell the owner to call the vet and make an appointment. The doctor needs to look at that, you know. It's not a groomer's decision if the dog has an ear infection or not. Okay, and Charla says, I've had vets in my area tell people not to pull the hair. I know. I don't know why. I was trained by vets to clean ears and anals. Have you heard this? Yes. It goes back. It's kind of old school. I don't think that vets wanted to mess with the anal glands, and they just sort of said, well, groomers can do that while the dog's in the tub. I don't think so. First of all, the anal glands aren't supposed to be a problem, and if they are, that's a medical issue. Okay? It's that simple. As far as the hair plucking goes, guys, you can do with this information what you will. I'm telling you, in my opinion, it needs to come out. And there are a lot of vets that will agree with that. There are a lot of vets that will disagree with it. So, see, there's a lot of opinions out there. Okay? But I think if you just look at it logically and you think of the purpose of the ear hair, why it's in there, and then why we would remove it, it makes perfect sense. And you could see when I was removing that from Buffy, you could see some of the hair that was way down deep inside of Buffy's ear had a lot of waxy buildup and yucky stuff on it. And that's good, because when I removed that hair, I removed that yucky stuff out of her ear too. And it's not going to sit in there against her skin. So to me, it makes perfect sense. Okay, so that's my opinion on that. And, you know, you can discuss it with your vet and see how they feel. Angelica says, if I can't see any hair inside my dog's ear, does it mean that they don't have any? Absolutely. That's exactly what it means. Okay. This chat's being weird. I see it's hiding some messages, so I keep trying to show them. Yes, that's exactly what it means. If you don't see any hair inside your dog's ear, then you don't have to remove any hair. You still need to clean it with ear cleansing solution, though. Never clean your dog's ears with water. I know, pretty sure everybody knows that, but I just want to reiterate that, because water does have bacteria in it, and it wouldn't bother your dog's ears unless maybe there's something brewing down there already. And if we add bacteria in there, Now we could be causing a flat-out, full-on infection. So we don't want that. So always use a safe pet ear cleansing solution to clean your dog's ears with. And it will promote good health for your dog's ears if you keep them clean, honestly. Jane, hello Jane, says, I've never used ear powder, and I think Jane has schnauzers. I've never used ear powder because I didn't know there was such a product. I have used tweezers that are small and that look like scissors. Should I switch to the powder? Yeah, it's a game changer. You'll love it, Jane. The powder just dries, it takes all the moisture out of the hair. And yeah, I'm sure, don't use tweezers. They can have a little bit of a blunt edge on them. And that scares me a little. I mean, these hemostats you can pick up on Amazon for $5 or $6. I mean, come on. It's a great little handy tool to have around. You can also pick your nose with it. No, don't do that. I'm kidding. All right. I had to say it. But, yeah, I think you're going to find, Jane, the ear powder is a game changer. And it just comes right out. It really is. It's wonderful. And that's why we use it. That's why groomers use it, because it really works. Okay. NSK Edits says, hello. Hello, NSK Edits. I have a Newfoundland dog. How to make his coat more silky, I think you mean. What is the best shampoo or conditioner can be used? One of my favorite conditioners to choose on a beautiful double coat like a Newfoundland. Also, Newfoundlands, you want a little something that's going to help you de-shed them and get the undercoat out. I like to use Nature's Specialty Sun Guard conditioner, and it has a dilution ratio, and I suggest you follow the dilution ratio. It is just a wonderful product. It's also very good for the skin and coat, and it kind of replenishes and nourishes, but it rinses so clean. That's one of the reasons why I like it, because it doesn't leave any buildup behind in your coat. If there's any buildup in the dog's coat after you bathe them, it's only going to dirty the coat up all the faster. So if you haven't rinsed your dog well enough, you're going to find that they get gummy and gummed up. The coat gets gummy faster than what you think it should, because some products can just leave traces behind. And I love the Nature's Specialty as the Sun Guard as the conditioner. They also have a wonderful shampoo called Plum Silky for that breed that you would love. Both of them are dilutable products, and it's highly suggested that you dilute products. If they say they're dilutable, let me show you guys. Like this is Tropiclean. You see this right here? This always messes me up when I'm on camera. Okay, right here, 42-to-1. It is 42 part water, 1 part shampoo. So that's where we use these mixing bottles, and you find your 42-to-1 ratio or one that's close, and you fill it up with water to that line and the rest with shampoo. It's very important to dilute your products if they're dilutable, because that's how they were made to perform. The water's taken out of them so that they are now concentrated, so you get more product instead of more water and more waste, So definitely always check and see if your products are dilutable, and make sure you dilute them as recommended on the bottle, because it will get the most out of your products, guys. I promise you. Let me see here. We're going to scroll and see if we got any more questions. All right. Deborah says, does the ear cleaner make the fur oily? Not the ear cleaner, no, and nor would the powder. But no, the Bark to Basics ear cleaner is not oily at all. Now this one is. The Zymox, this is more of a treatment. And yes, it has got a little bit of a greasy feel to it. But I only go for the Zymox if I've got an ear problem, something that I need to correct. Okay, so hopefully that answers your question, Deborah. And let's see here. Boy, you guys are chatty today, aren't you? Oh, Cin's here from Argentina. I love you too, kiddo. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much. Oh, Cynthia, almost missed your question, honey, but I see it. Hi, Amy. It says, When is the best time to do the ear cleaning? Before bath or after? Good question. I do ear plucking before the bath. That would be removing the hair. And then I bathe my dog. And I always, always, always clean the ears after I get them out of the tub, just in case any water would have got in there from the bathing process. The ear cleansing solution will remove that out of there, and then we'll be starting from a good place again. So always, always, always clean the ears after the bath. And Iwalani, I'm sorry, I hope I didn't mispronounce your name, honey, says, hi, Amy. Hello, how are you? Are there ever times that we would make an already irritated ear worse by plucking the ear hair out? An already irritated. Okay, this is my honest opinion on that. I have seen some really, really, really bad ears, some yucky ones. If we try to treat the ear with all that yuck in there, and it's not just hair that's packed in there. Guys, when we have a problem with the ears, when the ears become a problem, that stuff starts to cake in there like concrete, okay? So you're going to fail to be able to get your solutions down in there that you're trying to correct an ear infection with if you don't get the gunk out of there first. So that is my opinion. And I think it's very, very important to remove the yucky stuff. And yes, we would have to be more sensitive with very, very careful. If we know it's sore, the dog's going to let us know if it's sore too. He's going to be really protective of it, So be as gentle as possible. Remove as much of it as you can so that when we do get to treat it, or they do get to the vet to get a treatment solution to put in there, it's going to come in contact with the areas that need fixed and corrected. So definitely, okay? Just be careful, always be careful. I mean, obviously, if you see something horrendous that you've never seen before, you may just say, I don't feel good touching that. I really want to just really recommend that they go see the vet immediately if it's something really bad, okay? Because, I mean, it can bleed down in there. You could see blood in there when you look in there. If you see blood in there, make sure that you leave it alone and tell them to please make that appointment with the vet before something terrible happens to their dog's ear. Okay, so I am just looking here. Nor has another question. Says, thank God no discharges from anywhere. Oh, yeah, we were talking about Nor's dog, said the one ear was bad. Yep, we just got to pay attention, guys. Don't forget, our dog's skin, coat, all these areas in our dogs let us know if there's something we should be concerned about. If your dog is producing major gunk out of their eyes, and that's saying something in my chemistry is not happy. It could be a diet-related problem. It could be something else. It could be an allergy. If your dog's skin is real red and irritated looking, that's the skin saying, something's wrong here. I'm not happy. So pay attention to all the signs on our dogs. And if you don't know what's going on, you don't have to self-diagnose. That's why we have veterinarians. Get the dog some help, and your dog will feel better. Dogs don't complain much. So if you see something you think, wow, this looks really bad, and he wasn't even complaining, that's because they don't. They tolerate so much. Okay. Let me just scroll on up here. See if we got another question. Miss Hamey says, I have several questions because I want to start grooming my girl at home. So I have questions about tools. What's the best brush, clipper, etc. for a smooth-haired dog, a beagle, Jack Russell? Okay, that's a lot of questions. So you're grooming. I'm glad that you're grooming your smooth-coated dog, because a lot of people think short coats or smooth coats don't require bathing and grooming, and they sure do. I see so many beagles and short-haired dogs come in with an abundance of dandruff and just a complete imbalance in their skin and coat. because nobody's brushing or doing anything. So I like to always use a slicker brush just to stimulate blood flow to the dog's skin through the coat. Remember, the skin is the largest organ in your dog. So if we can stimulate good blood flow by brushing, which is kind of like an exfoliating type process, right? That increases good blood flow, which increases good health to the coat, to the skin and the coat. Also, a boar bristle brush is a wonderful brush that you can. I've linked Kenchi's website down on the bottom, guys. They have really nice boar bristle brushes. But boar bristle brushes encourage a short coat or a smooth coat to produce luster, and it releases the natural oils, which just helps balance out the skin and coat so it's healthier. And I have plenty of videos, Miss Amy, on my channel that can help you with tools and techniques of how to handle that coat, okay? So just, you go have fun surfing through them. We could be here all night explaining it. CMM says, from listening to your videos and chats, I'm considering getting a portable grooming table for my miniature schnauzer. Is there a brand that is better or should be avoided in your opinion? That's a great question, and boy, am I glad that you're considering it, because a grooming table is a game changer if you are doing a lot of brushing or trimming or anything with your dogs at home. Having them on a grooming table just makes them perform so much better for you, and they learn that that grooming table is a place where they perform for you, where they work. So you are going to be so happy if you purchase a grooming table. And fortunately, there are portable grooming tables that don't cost what our hydraulic and our electric professional grooming tables cost, because they're way too expensive for the home groomer. So I believe I do have one that I favor, CMM, that's linked in the description below. It's sturdy. I always will, even if you're grooming schnauzers, they're not big dogs, mini schnauzers, but I often like to still get the largest tabletop size, because I like a tabletop space where I can lay my comb and I can lay my brush, and it's away from the dog, and I can be working with my dog and still have my tools right here, or my sprays, or even my shears. They have to be away from the dog so the dog can't step on them. And so the dog doesn't kick them off the table, because if you drop your shears or if a dog accidentally kicks them off the table, they're not going to work right for you anymore, guys. So having that larger tabletop, because often the portable grooming tables come in like a 36 or a 40 or a 48-inch tabletop. Go for the larger one. You'll appreciate that. Deborah says, do you have any videos on brushing dogs' teeth? What toothpaste do you recommend? Tropiclean has wonderful products for teeth, and I use their Fresh Breath foam. That's what I use to brush dogs' teeth. And I do actually have a video. It was a combo video. It's kind of a funny one. It's called How to Remove Pet Odors or something like that. It talks about different things. The smelly ears is covered in there. Breath for brushing the teeth is covered in there, as well as if your dog gets skunked or is just stinky. There's I think there was like 3 great tips in that video called How to Remove Pet Odors. Not how to remove pet owners. We don't want to remove pet owners, just pet odors. Okay, I'm glad I cleared that up. But yeah, check it out, Deborah. It'll be very helpful for you. Oh, I just love it. You guys are so chatty. Jason says, is there something to stick in the dog's ear during bathing or even swimming that will keep water out of the ears? Yes, I often will put a dry cotton ball down in the ears, and I'll use a hemostat. I'll take the cotton ball and really wad it up, and then take it and gently put it down in right in there so they don't shake it out. And that'll just stop any water from leaking down in there, unless you're soaking your dog's ear with water, which you're not going to do that. So that is one thing. Aside from that, there's nothing that I'm aware of that's really safe. There may be things for swimming dogs, because water dogs, there's water sports for dogs. There may be websites that actually have like some type of, looks like a happy hoodie, a thing that would be like a wristband that would go around their ears that would keep that is actually waterproof. That might be something. I'm sure somebody makes something like that, especially for dogs that swim and retrieve. So I would just go to a website that, you know, their gig is dog water sports, stuff like that, and see what they have. But when I bathe the dogs here, I just will put cotton balls in their ear if I need to be concerned. And I show you guys in my videos when I'm washing dogs how I do protect their ears while I'm washing them and pin them shut when I'm rinsing down the ears, stuff like that. There's just some little tricks that you can do that will keep them safer. And is it Elise? Lise says, you are so cute and your videos are great. Well, thank you for saying that. Mitzi says, hi, Miss Hammy. What ear solution do you recommend is best for dogs to wear during bath time? Wait. Ear solution recommend for dogs to wear during bath time that allows their ears to be dry and clean afterwards.
We're going potty.
Okay. They're going potty. There again, honey, I just put cotton balls in there to protect the water from getting down in the ears. Just be safe. Be on the safe side. All right. So, guys, I think I'm caught up, and I hope that you enjoyed the topic tonight, and I hope it's helped you. I just got to tell you, thank you all for joining us all here tonight. And it means a lot to me that we get together and share these secrets and for the benefit of pets across the world, right? I think it's wonderful. I'm not going to stop doing what I'm doing. I'm so proud of you guys for taking the initiative. In fact, you're all getting saluted. You're all getting saluted for taking the initiative to want better for your pets and to take better care of your pets by learning more safe practices of grooming. You guys rock. You do. And I love you. And I want to thank you for being here. I'm going to send you guys all off with a nice little subscriber showdown that's sure to put a little swing in your step and got some beautiful dogs to show you. I love you. I will see you next Monday, and you have a wonderful week. Thank you for popping in here with me. I'll see you next Monday. Subscriber showdown for you.